Hello everyone, this is Mr. Speak, and this is going to be my One Piece review, One Piece 644. Sorry, I'm bad on chapter numbers. Ever since I got the camera, I've been bad on chapter numbers because I usually look at it otherwise. In any case, 644. And I didn't see a chapter name either, so, if you find it out or if you see it somewhere, let me know. And maybe I'm reading one that just cut out the name for whatever reason. I don't see it on here. In any case, cut back to the climactic moments. Noah's still coming down. They're trying to do stuff like put a little air bubble around it to prevent it from crashing into the island. However, it's not shown how successful that will be. In any case, everybody's kind of wondering what Fukaboshi was talking about. And then we just got to kind of get like a little bit of flashbacks here and there. I think they're Hody's flashbacks. I could be wrong, but yeah, it seems like they're Hody's flashbacks. In any case, we just see him as he was young and then as he gets older. First of all, when he was very young, we see him with an Arlong. It's not shown how old Arlong is at this point, but they're just talking about stories where like fishermen were taking down humans, and he was like, okay, he got killed by the humans, but he took down 8 humans with him, and then stuff like that. And then, well, we cut to him looking at Hachi. He was like, oh, Hachi's talking about Rayleigh, and he's like, this guy is scum. I don't like his story at all. And then they were talking about everything about how fishermen will rise and how they will have revenge on, humans and everything, and no matter what the cost. Then they hear that they're disappointed Jinbei joined the Shichibukai. So yeah, it's just a quick flashback about everything. In any case, Fukaboshi goes on to like this thing where he's talking about like he's upset that they turned a blind eye to what was going on in the Fishman District. It's somewhat understandable. I mean, they were so concerned about getting signatures. They knew it was around, but they didn't really do much of anything. It's not necessarily their fault, but still, they kind of feel responsible in that way. And he's just telling Luffy like turn everything back to zero. Where I think he just wants to wash away the hatred of Fishman Island. It's not, saying what he's giving him the go-ahead to do. Is it to destroy Noah? Is it destroy Fishman Island? I mean, I don't know. What do you think on that note? I'll ask more on that later. In any case, Hody's just laughing how the bubble plan wouldn't work, and how everything's going to go the way he is, and how he's going to say everything. And then he goes off to attack Luffy again. Not too bright. In any case, Luffy goes to gear second really quick, and he uses a technique called Red Hook. And to be honest, it looks like there's a whole bunch of flames underwater. Is that due to his haki? Possibly, because admittedly, and I'll get on more to this later, that would explain another thing I had. In any case, that's where the chapter ends. We see this new technique, Red Hook, and it is awesome. So we see a little bit more of a little bit more of Luffy's power. Apparently, he's able to use somewhat elemental abilities. I think that's due to his haki. And in fact, that will kind of explain, somewhat Sanji's, give a better explanation. I mean, we've always accepted Oda's, his heart burns hotter. And that was kick-ass. But simultaneously, because Sanji has a form of haki before, that would kind of explain certain things. Like, there was a few people during the Whitebeard War who exhibited elemental abilities, but they didn't have like a devil fruit. For instance, there was a New World captain who had like this could turn his sword into he could make his sword have an electric current. And as we know, Enel or Eneru, whichever you call him, is the only one with that Logia fruit. So maybe it's haki that it can enable them to do stuff like that. What do you think? I mean, that's entirely possible. And it would explain Sanji. Plus, it kind of increases the versatility of the crew if they had that available to them. Like, their, Diablo Jumble and Ashura abilities are derived from haki. Like, they can get additional appendages made of haki, in Zoro's case, and, use haki to provide a variety of different effects. In Sanji's case, fire. And that would kind of increase their versatility, because we all knew if Luffy's the only one going around with haki, How are they going to go up against, Logia opponents? I mean, admittedly, if they weren't Logias, they'd probably be able to stand on even ground, but they're not. And plus, they use their Logia abilities in a variety of ways, so they at least need to be able to some way to harm them. So, yeah. I mean, even when it was stuff like, okay, Sanji's going up to kick Caribou's ass. Caribou is a guy that does show at least some mastery over his Logia. Maybe not as fluent as some other guys, because he did show difficulty like passing a cannonball through. But he could still do that without that much pain. He's kind of like the One Piece movie villain Gaspard, where Gaspard, he still had pain and all that because he couldn't quite do it right. But he could still just let text pass straight through him. And how it kind of like how Smoker was, before he gained complete mastery. Not necessarily like that, but yeah, like they just had a difficulty letting text pass through. But Caribou seems to be at least on the level where he can let it pass through, and so it doesn't phase him that much. So there was a whole bunch of theories like we all wanted to see like Sanji or Zoro or somebody kick his ass because he's out there kidnapping mermaids. But, again, how is that going to happen? Sanji has Haki, and we see how that's going to happen. I mean, he could have used Diablo Jumbo to, like, dry him up or something, but still, Haki makes it all the better, in my opinion. You may argue with me, but that's how I feel on the matter. Yeah, what do you think is going to, and another question comes from, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily say what Fukaboshi is giving them the thing to do. Like, he said turn everything back to zero. Is he saying, like, well, we already knew nobody was going to spare Hody after all these crap he's putting people through, but maybe Luffy because he's Luffy, but simultaneously, like, does he mean he's giving the okay to destroy Noah or Fishman Island? I mean, they've already said destroy Fishman Island, destroy Fishman Island, but is he giving them the okay for either? I mean, admittedly, nobody would want either destroyed simultaneously. Something's got to give. Vanderdecken is at the very least unconscious. I think he's dead, personally, but he's at the very least unconscious. His Devil Fruit abilities is inactive, so there's no hope there. Maybe, maybe not. It depends if he's unconscious or not. I think he's dead. In any case, so there's not much hope coming from that end. The only hope comes from actually just dealing with Noah outright, which is, something a lot of people really don't want to do, but simultaneously it's the only way they could get things done. So, I think Luffy was already going to set himself up to destroy Noah if, like the lure it away from Fishman Island plan didn't work. Also, another alternative, he uses some Gear 3rd powers to, like, do a massive push away from Fishman Island. Will the ship be completely intact? Probably not. Simultaneously, there's a ship versus an island full of fishermen and people. So, who's going to argue? Some people might be a little sore and sad about it, but I don't think they'll complain, especially, Fishman Island is a bit more important. They can always rebuild another ship or repair Nova. So, yeah. In any case, that's where the chapter ends. I think we're finally setting up to, put Hody down for the count. Also, another thing I've seen in this chapter, and I sorry I didn't mention it earlier, apparently Hody was the guy that obtained, like, the initial energy steroid, or something along those lines, and then somebody on his crew, I think the white and black guy, I forget his name, the guy that's fighting Brook, I think he was the one that mass-produced it, so maybe Big Mom's candy is just that candy. Maybe they use her factories to like mass produce it or something, but I don't think she had knowledge of it going on. Then again, maybe he acquired it from Big Mom in the first place and he really doesn't care accepting it because he's more along the lines of using it to, cause even more harm to humans. So then again, it kind of, I don't know, it kind of doesn't fit Hody's character to accept the slightest bit of help from humans. So, even if it's at the cost of hurting his fellow fishermen, he really does not care. As long as the humans, don't get back up. Somebody doesn't get back up from the human side. That's all he cares about. In any case, if I find out the chapter name, I'll put it in the video title. Otherwise, this is going to be the end of my review. Put your theories, put your comments below. And, tell me what you think about this chapter, and I'll try to put it in the end of next chapter's video. In any case, it's been Mr. Speak, and I'm signing off.